Have you been feeling more tired lately and just told yourself, well, that's just part of getting older? What if that constant fatigue, that brain fog you keep brushing off, or that little swelling in your ankles wasn't age at all, but your kidneys quietly crying for help right now? Millions of Americans are walking around with dangerous kidney damage and don't even know it, because the early signs don't scream, they whisper. And the most frightening part, by the time obvious symptoms show, the damage may already be permanent. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and today I want to take you on a deep dive into something that could change your life or the life of someone you love. We're going to talk about creatinine, the silent marker in your blood that reveals how well your kidneys are filtering out toxins. When creatinine rises, it's often the very first alarm bell. Yet most people never notice until it's too late. Imagine that your body's sending out distress signals every single day, and you not recognizing them until your kidneys are already in serious trouble. But here's the good news if you know what to look for. You can catch these signals early and act before the damage becomes irreversible. In this video, we'll uncover 12 subtle symptoms of high creatinine that even many doctors overlook. Some of them might seem so ordinary, like trouble sleeping, itchy skin, or changes in appetite that you'd never connect them to kidney health. And yet, each one carries a warning. So stay with me, because over the next few minutes, you'll learn how to recognize these hidden signs, understand the science behind them, and most importantly, what steps you can take to protect your kidneys before it's too late. Your health, your energy, and even your independence could depend on it. And once you hear these 12 silent symptoms, you'll never ignore them again. Let's start with one of the most common but most overlooked warning signs, that deep, bone-crushing fatigue that just doesn't make sense. I'm not talking about being tired after a late night. I'm talking about waking up after a full 8 hours and still feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Many people in their 50s, 60s, or 70s tell themselves, well, I'm just getting older. But here's the truth. Age alone doesn't rob you of that much energy. Take Margaret, a 62-year-old retired teacher. She noticed she couldn't get through her morning walk without stopping to catch her breath, even though she'd been doing it for years. She thought maybe she just needed more vitamins or stronger coffee. But when her doctor finally checked her blood work, her creatinine was high and her kidneys were already struggling. That fatigue wasn't just tiredness. It was her body drowning in toxins her kidneys couldn't clear. The science backs this up. According to the National Kidney Foundation, when creatinine levels rise, waste products circulate in your blood, poisoning your cells and disrupting energy production. It's like trying to run a marathon while carrying a backpack full of bricks. No wonder you feel drained, weak, and unable to enjoy the activities you once loved. So, if you've been blaming your constant exhaustion on stress, age, or busy schedules, stop and pay attention. Your body may be waving a red flag, and ignoring it could cost you dearly. But just knowing this one symptom isn't enough, because there's another hidden signal, this time inside your brain, that may be even more dangerous. Fatigue is draining, but what happens when your brain starts slowing down too? Many people with rising creatinine notice something far more unsettling. They can't think as sharply as before. It's not just forgetting where you left your keys, it's reading the same paragraph 3 times and still not remembering what it said, or losing your train of thought in the middle of a conversation. That's not normal aging. That's brain fog. Think about Robert, a 58-year-old accountant. He was known for his sharp memory, but recently he found himself staring blankly at spreadsheets he used to breeze through. His co-workers teased him about senior moments, but the truth was darker. His kidneys were struggling, creatinine was rising, and toxins were leaking past the blood-brain barrier, clouding his mind. The science explains why. The National Kidney Foundation points out that when kidneys fail to filter properly, uremic toxins build up and disrupt neurotransmitters. Imagine trying to have a clear phone call with static blasting in the background. That's what your brain is battling when waste products flood your system. It's trying to think through noise. So if you've been blaming your mental fog on stress or lack of sleep, ask yourself, is it really just stress? Or could it be your kidneys sending you a quiet SOS, pay attention? Because brain fog linked to kidney function often creeps in gradually and gets dismissed until it's too late. But only focusing on your mind isn't enough, because the next sign shows up in your gut, and it may be the one that finally makes you realize something is seriously wrong. Now, here's where things get even trickier. You might expect kidney problems to show up in your urine or blood pressure, but often they sneak into something as ordinary as your appetite. Suddenly, foods you once loved don't taste the same. Meals feel heavy, even after just a few bites. And worse, you start waking up with that dull, queasy feeling in your stomach that never seems to go away. Let me tell you about Linda, a 64-year-old grandmother. She used to enjoy Sunday dinners with her family, but gradually, she found herself pushing her plate away. Her kids thought she was dieting. In reality, her kidneys weren't clearing toxins, and those chemicals were building up in her bloodstream, flipping her stomach upside down. That persistent nausea wasn't just a random upset, it was her body begging for attention. The research supports this. Medline Plus notes that even mild kidney dysfunction can change digestion and appetite. When creatinine climbs, waste products irritate the digestive tract and alter hormone signals, making you feel full too quickly. Combine that with nausea, and it becomes a vicious cycle, eating less, losing strength, and feeling weaker by the day. So, if your appetite has mysteriously vanished or nausea lingers without a clear cause, don't brush it off as aging or stress. It might be your kidneys struggling in silence. But appetite is only one outward signal. What happens when your body starts holding on to things it should be letting go of? That's where swelling or edema quietly creeps in, and it's a warning you can actually see. Sometimes the most alarming warning signs aren't hidden deep inside your body, they show up right on the surface. One of the earliest red flags of rising creatinine is swelling, also known as edema. At first, it's so subtle you can easily brush it off. Your wedding ring feels a little tighter. Your shoes don't fit quite right by evening. You wake up and notice puffiness under your eyes, blaming it on a bad night's sleep. But in reality, and this may be your kidneys failing to clear excess sodium and water. Take James, a 67-year-old retiree. He thought the swelling in his ankles was from sitting too long during TV marathons. But when he finally mentioned it to his doctor, tests showed his kidneys were holding on to fluid his body couldn't flush out. That minor swelling was actually a silent cry for help. The National Kidney Foundation explains it simply: when your kidneys lose their ability to filter efficiently, fluid builds up in tissues, most often in the feet, ankles, and around the eyes, where gravity or circulation has the strongest effect. What seems like a harmless puffiness is actually your body struggling to maintain balance. So, if swelling keeps coming back, even mildly, it's not something to dismiss as aging or salt. It may be your kidneys trying to speak through your skin. But swelling isn't the only outward signal. There's another clue hidden in your bathroom habits. And if you're not paying attention, you could be missing one of the most important kidney warnings of all. If fatigue drains your energy and swelling shows up on your skin, then urination is the most obvious window into your kidney health. But here's the catch: it's so routine that we rarely stop to notice the changes. Rising creatinine often reveals itself through subtle shifts in bathroom habits. Maybe you're waking up at night more often to pee, something you chalk up to age. Maybe your urine looks unusually foamy, bubbly, or cloudy. Or maybe the color seems a little off, either darker or strangely pale. Consider Tom, a 61-year-old mechanic. He started making 3 trips to the bathroom every night, and his wife teased him about getting old. But when his lab tests came back, the truth was serious. His kidneys were leaking protein, creating that foam in his urine, and his creatinine was already too high. What seemed like a small annoyance was actually his body's biggest alarm bell. The National Kidney Foundation warns that these urinary changes are often early signs of kidney dysfunction. Damaged kidneys lose the ability to concentrate urine, leading to frequent nighttime urination. Persistent foaminess often means protein is leaking, a condition called proteinuria, one of the earliest markers of kidney disease. So, if your bathroom routine has changed and it doesn't feel normal anymore, don't ignore it. These shifts can tell a bigger story about what's happening inside your body. But urination isn't the only external signal. Sometimes your skin starts sending messages too. And when it does, the itching and dryness can be relentless. Now, here's a sign most people never connect to their kidneys: your skin. When creatinine rises and waste products build up, they don't just stay in your blood. They affect your largest organ, the skin. You might notice a constant itch that comes and goes, often worse at night, or dryness that no lotion seems to fix. It feels random, but in truth, it may be your kidneys struggling to keep your body's chemistry in balance. Take Susan, a 59-year-old nurse. She thought her dry, flaky arms were from the winter weather and her itchy legs from stress. But when the scratching became constant and nothing helped, she finally got checked. The blood test revealed high creatinine, and suddenly all those skin changes made sense. It wasn't allergies, it was her kidneys. The National Kidney Foundation highlights that kidney dysfunction often disrupts mineral balance and allows toxins to accumulate under the skin. This causes irritation that moisturizers, antihistamines, or even steroid creams can't truly solve. The itch may jump from place to place, leaving you restless and uncomfortable, while the dryness makes your skin feel tight and rough no matter what products you use. So, if your skin feels like it's rebelling against you for no clear reason, and it might be more than dryness or age, it could be your kidneys sending an urgent message from the inside out. But the skin isn't the only place this imbalance shows up. Sometimes it strikes your muscles, and that's when cramps and aches begin to take over. Few things are as disruptive as sudden cramps or mysterious aches that appear out of nowhere. You might be lying in bed and bam, your calf seizes up in a painful knot, or you wake up sore even though you didn't work out the day before. While most people blame dehydration, aging, or stress, the truth is that rising creatinine and struggling kidneys often trigger these muscle problems. Picture David, a 65-year-old carpenter. He began waking up at night with sharp cramps in his legs, sometimes so intense he had to walk around the house just to shake them off. He thought maybe he wasn't getting enough potassium, so he ate more bananas. But the cramps kept coming, and tests later revealed his electrolytes were all out of balance because his kidneys could no longer regulate them properly. His creatinine was climbing, and his muscles were paying the price. The Kidney Foundation of Canada explains that kidneys are critical in maintaining the delicate balance of minerals like potassium, calcium, and phosphorus. When that balance breaks down, nerves and muscles misfire, creating cramps, spasms, and aches that feel random but are actually rooted in kidney dysfunction. So if cramps and unexplained soreness keep sneaking into your nights or daily routine, don't just dismiss them as getting older. They could be your body's way of warning you about something deeper. And when your muscles won't let you rest, sleep itself begins to fall apart, which brings us to the next silent but exhausting symptom. When your muscles ache and cramp, it's already hard enough to rest. But for many people with rising creatinine, sleep itself becomes the battlefield. You lie down exhausted, yet your body won't cooperate. Maybe you can't fall asleep, or you fall asleep quickly but wake up multiple times a night. Sometimes it's because you need to urinate more often, but other times it's because your brain and body simply can't relax. Take Karen, a 60-year-old librarian. She had always been a solid sleeper, but suddenly she found herself staring at the ceiling until 2 a.m. On the nights she did manage to sleep, she woke up 3 or 4 times drenched in sweat, her legs twitching with restless sensations. She tried changing her mattress, drinking herbal tea, even cutting out caffeine. Nothing worked. When she finally got her kidneys checked, her creatinine was elevated, and the puzzle pieces came together. The National Kidney Foundation reports that sleep disorders are extremely common in people with kidney dysfunction. Waste buildup in the blood disrupts natural sleep-wake cycles, while imbalanced electrolytes can trigger restless leg syndrome, night sweats, or vivid, disturbing dreams. The result: no matter how long you spend in bed, you wake up feeling unrested, like your body never truly shut down. So, if your nights are restless and your mornings feel just as draining as the night before, don't ignore it. Your kidneys might be the hidden culprit robbing you of restorative sleep. But poor sleep isn't the only strange effect of creatinine buildup. Sometimes it even changes how food tastes in your mouth, and the result can be both frustrating and embarrassing. What if even your sense of taste starts to betray you? Many people with rising creatinine notice that their favorite foods suddenly taste metallic, bitter, or just off. Sweet foods lose their appeal. Meat tastes strange, and some even describe it as chewing on pennies. Alongside this comes a breath odor that regular brushing, flossing, or mouthwash can't fix. It's not just bad breath, it's something deeper. Take Paul, a 57-year-old sales manager. He loves sharing lunch with colleagues, but lately he noticed people stepping back during conversations. His wife mentioned a strange ammonia-like smell on his breath, and he couldn't ignore the constant metallic taste in his mouth. Embarrassed, he booked a dentist appointment, but his teeth were fine. The real issue was his kidneys. His creatinine levels were high, and toxins were being pushed out through his saliva and breath. The Kidney Foundation of Canada explains that when kidneys fail to filter properly, metabolic waste builds up and alters both taste and smell. This is known as uremic fever, a distinct breath odor caused by toxins escaping through the lungs. It's distressing, not just physically but socially, affecting confidence in relationships. So, if your meals don't taste the same, or your breath smells strange no matter how much you clean your teeth, don't just blame your mouth. It may be your kidneys trying to speak through your senses. But as unsettling as that sounds, there's an even colder truth ahead. Sometimes kidney problems make you feel chilled to the bone, even when everyone else is perfectly comfortable. Imagine sitting in a room where everyone else feels fine, but you're reaching for a sweater, shivering like it's winter. This isn't just sensitivity, it's a warning. Many people with elevated creatinine experience cold intolerance, a deep chill that lingers no matter how many layers you wear. It's not about the weather, it's about your blood. Take Eleanor, a 68-year-old retired nurse. She used to joke about always needing a blanket, but soon it wasn't funny anymore. Her hands and feet were ice cold even in summer, and no amount of hot tea or heating pads seemed to help. When she finally went for testing, her kidneys were producing less erythropoietin, a hormone that tells your body to make red blood cells. Without enough of them, she developed anemia, leaving her body starved of oxygen and constantly cold. The Kidney Foundation of Canada confirms this connection as kidney function declines. Anemia becomes common, and the lack of oxygen-carrying red blood cells makes you feel chilled from the inside out. This isn't just about comfort, it's about your body struggling to maintain normal function. So if you've been bundling up more than usual, or you feel frozen while everyone else is fine, don't ignore it. Your kidneys might be behind the chill. But the cold isn't the only way creatinine messes with your mind and body. Sometimes it quietly chips away at your memory, leaving you forgetful in ways that are easy to dismiss until it's too late. We all misplace our keys or forget an appointment now and then. But when forgetfulness becomes more frequent or more disruptive, it can be a deeper warning. Elevated creatinine doesn't just tire your body, it can slowly cloud your mind. You may find yourself losing your train of thought mid-conversation, relying more heavily on notes or reminders, or struggling with tasks that used to come easily. Consider Harold, a 72-year-old grandfather. He prided himself on remembering every grandchild's birthday, but lately he began mixing up dates and even got lost driving to a familiar store. His family worried it was early dementia, but when his doctor checked, the culprit was elevated creatinine. His kidneys weren't filtering properly, and toxins were affecting his brain function. With treatment, his clarity improved, proving it wasn't just aging after all. The National Kidney Foundation points out that even mild kidney dysfunction can impair cognitive performance. Waste products circulating in the blood interfere with the brain's delicate chemistry, leading to lapses in memory, confusion, and difficulty concentrating. The tricky part: these changes often fluctuate, so some days you feel sharp and other days foggy, making it easy to dismiss until the pattern becomes undeniable. So, if your memory feels less reliable or your thinking less clear, don't simply chalk it up to age. Your kidneys might be at the root of it. But forgetfulness isn't the final warning. Sometimes the body starts losing weight without you even trying, and that signal is one you can't afford to overlook. If brain fog and forgetfulness are unsettling, this final sign is one you can actually see in the mirror. Many people with rising creatinine experience gradual weight loss, not from dieting, but from their body quietly breaking down. You may find yourself eating less because food no longer tastes right, or because nausea lingers. Over time, the pounds slip away without effort, and muscle mass begins to fade. Take Diana, a 66-year-old grandmother. She didn't notice the change at first, but her daughter pointed out how loose her clothes had become. Diana hadn't been exercising more, and her meals hadn't changed. The truth came out during a routine checkup. Her creatinine was elevated, and her kidneys were no longer processing nutrients efficiently. That weight loss was a red flag her body had been waving for months. The Kidney Foundation of Canada highlights that this isn't just about eating less. Kidney dysfunction alters metabolism, suppresses appetite, and increases the breakdown of muscle tissue. The result is unintentional: steady weight loss that can weaken the body and accelerate other symptoms. It's easy to mistake it for stress, aging, or even a good thing if you've struggled with weight before, but when it happens without effort, it's a sign that shouldn't be ignored. So now, if the scale is dropping and you don't know why, it's time to dig deeper. Because here's the truth: these 12 subtle symptoms are not random, and they're not harmless. They're part of a bigger picture that can only be confirmed with the right medical tests that could mean the difference between protecting your kidneys or facing irreversible damage. By now you've seen how creatinine can whisper its warnings through fatigue, brain fog, swelling, skin changes, and even unexplained weight loss. But here's the truth: symptoms alone can't give you the full picture. The only way to know for sure if your kidneys are struggling is through testing, and the sooner you do it, the better your chances of protecting them. The simplest starting point is a blood test for serum creatinine. This test measures the level of waste circulating in your bloodstream, but creatinine by itself doesn't tell the whole story. That's why doctors also calculate your estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR. This number shows how efficiently your kidneys are filtering toxins out of your blood. A healthy eGFR is usually above 90. When it drops below 60 for more than 3 months, it indicates chronic kidney disease. Urine tests are just as important, often catching problems before blood work does. A basic urinalysis can reveal protein, blood, or other substances that don't belong there. One of the most valuable is the urine albumin to creatinine ratio test, which detects even tiny amounts of protein leakage, one of the earliest and most reliable signs that kidney damage is underway. Imaging tests like ultrasounds may also be used to check the size, shape, and structure of your kidneys. And if you're living with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or a family history of kidney problems, your doctor may recommend regular monitoring, even if you feel perfectly fine. Here's the bottom line: kidney disease is often called a silent killer because it hides until it's advanced. But when caught early through the right tests, its progression can be slowed or even stopped with lifestyle changes, medications, and consistent care. Ignoring the tests means gambling with your health. Taking them seriously could save your kidneys, your independence, and your future. So after hearing about these 12 subtle symptoms, ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your kidney function? Don't wait until the damage is obvious, because the earlier you know, the more power you have to protect your health. And that brings us to the most important part of this journey, the hope, the choices, and the small steps that can make all the difference. If you've recognized even one of these signs in yourself or someone you care about, remember this: you are not powerless. The kidneys may whisper, but you now know how to listen. Small choices like staying hydrated, eating kidney-friendly foods, managing blood pressure, and asking your doctor for the right tests can make a life-changing difference. If this video has been helpful, I encourage you to save it so you can revisit these warnings anytime. And please subscribe to our channel for more up-to-date medical insights that can protect your kidney health and improve your overall well-being. Every week, we share guidance designed to help you stay informed, empowered, and one step ahead. Your kidneys work tirelessly, day and night, to keep your body balanced. By paying attention today, you're giving yourself the best chance to stay strong, independent, and healthy tomorrow. So take action, share this knowledge with loved ones, and never forget, protecting your kidneys means protecting your future.